Good morning. Hello, everybody. I'm gonna hold on for a second and please make sure and tell me if it's it's gonna be echoing. I can tell already. All right, tell me now if it is echoing or not. I always have to mess with which microphone it's picking up. So tell me if it sounds okay or if it sounds like it is echoing. Hello, everyone. Good morning. So good to see everybody. Let's get rid of that. Okay, it's sounding good. Hello. So I thought today we would have a little bit of fun with blending. I'm going to share my very favorite stenciling technique with you. So we're going to stencil with dye inks instead of like an oxide ink or reactive ink. And then we're going to stamp over it with background stamps, which is my very, very favorite thing to do. I love the way the text kind of gives a subtle look. Good, no echo today. That makes me so happy. Thank you, thank you. It is so good to see everybody here today. It is Friday the 13th. So I thought it'd be perfect. We're going to start with a Halloween card. We're kind of do the last quarter of the year seasonal cards today. I'm hoping to get 3 backgrounds done. I'm hoping to get all 3 all the way finished. My son does have a doctor's appointment at 10:45. So we're going to need to be done by 10:30 by the very latest today. Hi, Susan. Thank you. Thank you, guys. This is one of my favorite shirts. It's I call it my crafting shirt. So we're going to, got hair in my mouth. We're going to create a Halloween background. We're going to create a fall background and a Christmas background. They're all going to have text stamped over them and then some simple sentiments on top. It really is one of my favorite easy techniques. And I am going to be sharing new Simon Says Stamp blender brushes because they're really awesome. They come in 2 sizes, big and small. Obviously they're colorful, so it's easy to pick the one you need. And the small ones in particular are fantastic just because they're going to cover a much smaller surface area, and those little tiny stencils, they work fantastic for. Linda, I see you're asking if I got to IKEA. I did not go. What I wanted was out of stock. I've signed up to be notified and it's still not in stock. I'm not super hopeful. So the office video is on hold. I do have a different plan in place. And the office, I'm going to tell you why the office video is on hold. We're almost halfway through August and I have already started stamp timber prep. And stamp timber is a lot of work for me. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love, love, love it. But I've already started. I have one video halfway, well, the project's for it halfway finished and halfway filmed. I have another big one, and then I have a collab one that I'm going to get done out of the way. Then I have Lawn Fawn September release, Mama Elephant September release. And so I cannot go. I mean, even if it would come back in stock, I can't go this weekend. Ethan has some stuff going on, so I can't go. Football has started for him, so next weekend is completely out. We have parent things for that, and also like the, introduction night at school, so I have school stuff for him, and then it's September. And I could go potentially on a weekend in September, but it's a busy month, and then I already have a weekend away with friends in September, so it's really not looking good to getting to IKEA anytime soon. I'm really sad. So here's my plan. I know I've had a lot of questions about stamp die organization, so I'm going to do some like mini videos that concentrate more on how I store those things. And then hopefully I can get the big office reveal when I can. I may try to go sometime during the week. It just depends on how much I have going on. I'm so sorry. I'm really at the mercy of when things are in stock, and so I'm sad, but it is what it is. Yay, I'm glad to see that everyone is excited about Stamptember. I am excited, so excited. This is probably the earliest that I've ever been done with some Stamptember projects. That's terrible. I'm always so last minute, but I have really worked ahead. I'm hoping to have a lot done ahead of time so that it's a little more seamless and smooth for me on this side of things. Okay, let us see. Let me make sure I don't have... Oh my goodness, it's 4:03 a.m. in Hawaii. Amy, thank you for joining us. That is very, very early. Oh, Diane is from Sydney, Australia. So nice to see you guys. Oh, Susie wants to know if I like the Simon Says stamp brushes better than the Gina K. I wouldn't necessarily say better. They're just another fantastic option. I do absolutely love that they come in colors. So I'm not having to like look at a little collar around it to know what color it is. And I really love the small size, but that could be for any kind of brush that you have. So real quick, I do want to remind you guys, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. That really helps me here on YouTube and I appreciate it. Let me see if I have anything else. I made some little notes. I think, oh yes, the Hero Arts release is there's a blog hop and the whole Christmas holiday release is next Wednesday. So I will have, Bethany, you have not missed anything. We just started. So that will be the big blog hop next week. They will also be announcing their holiday stamp-along event, which will be mid-September. So I've already designed my card and project for that. I'm really, really excited to teach that. That's going to be alive as well. So I think that's kind of all of the housekeeping stuff I've got today. Let's start making cards so we can get our 3 seasonal backgrounds all done. Let me switch my camera. Okay. So I have an assortment of the brushes here. This is only a few. Mostly I picked the colors that I'm going to use, but you can see that, look at all the pretty colors. I just love the colors, and of course I love the dog print. And then the positively awesome little tool here, which you can use for all kinds of things. I use it to clean my brushes with a little bit of dish soap. And I also use it because it will hold your ink pads put. You can see I'm pushing on it and it's going to help it stay put, so that helps when you're inking and everything like that. And we're going to start with my Halloween background, and then I think we will do fall and then Christmas. I think that's my plan today. I'm going to move a couple things out of the way. So the first thing in my favorite technique as far as ink blending is I like starting with a non-white card base if I can. I love white card bases. So here's white. And I know that this isn't much different. This is Lawn Fawn Fog cardstock. So it's just a little bit darker. And let me see. Donna asks if I design any stamps. I don't design stamps per se. I have 2 collections with Spellbinders, a wedding collection and a fall collection, so it's mostly dies. Let me make sure. Sandy says that football season is so fun and she misses that time. Yes, it is. It really is. This year feels a little bit more normal. So it's really awesome and he's excited. So this is what we're going to use first. I'm going to use this. It is a Jack-o'-lanterns stencil from Simon Says Stamp. I think it came out last year. I actually did not ever use it. So this was the first. I did kind of play with this earlier this week to make sure that I kind of liked my idea. So that's why it does have some ink on it. I tried to clean it, but it is really cute. And I like it on this gray cardstock. So even using a dye ink on gray cardstock, it's going to be awesome. So what I find, this is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. Let's see. Oh, Donna Jo says for stamp timber. No, nothing. I have not designed anything for stamp timber. I like to start in the center, and you'll notice since this stencil has all of this stuff all over it, it's going to be a little bit trickier to stencil. That is where a smaller blending brush comes in handy, but I also like the added protection of some sort of like post-it note, post-it tape like I'm going to use here, just because I'm not all that tidy stenciling, and invariably I'll show you because I did this background and I left it because I knew this wasn't going to be the final one. So I didn't like tape things off so great, and you can see that there's like a little brown or black. I think that's brown. I think it's when I did the stem. There were a couple areas. I tried to erase it with a sand eraser, but it just is, it seems like an extra step, but it's so much better to just mask it off. But I will also say that I did this as an example. I only used my older, bigger blending brushes. I did not use the smaller size brushes that we're going to use today. This is going to help keep the ink just in this section. It's a huge difference from a small, and you can see this covers so much more area. So I'm going to actually put the orange one away. We're only going to use the small, and what I really love is to use a couple shades of ink. Let's move this stuff. All right, we are going to start with Clementine Simon Says Stamp ink, and then we're also going to use orange slush. So I'm going to start with my Clementine. This is going to be the most time-consuming background. This is also why I picked this one to go first, because I'm going to fill the entire background with jack-o'-lanterns. And I don't know what it is, you guys, but I'm all about the fall crafting all of a sudden. And that goes for everything. I have like 2 fall quilts going right now. So I'm going from Clementine, and then I'm just going to pick up a little orange slush, and I'm going to blend that along the bottom. The thing about dye inks is it looks terrible. Well, I shouldn't say it looks terrible, but it doesn't look great when it goes on. But as it dries, these are the 2 colors I used. And you can see how it smooths out, it absorbs, and it just looks amazing. Kelly is letting everyone know you can get the Post-it tape at any office supply store or Amazon, and that is true. I get mine from Amazon. So if you want, I can add a link to that later. I can make a little note. I even have my notepad today handy. Post-it tape. Because I know there's always things that I forget. All right, I'm going to just move my lids a little bit. All right, I'm just going to lift this up then. And what I did is I kind of went through and I did all of my pumpkins, and then I'll turn them into jack-o'-lanterns. So this is another good tip. If you do not care to do Halloween and don't want to turn these into jack-o'-lanterns, you can completely leave this as a pumpkin background, and that would be awesome. Also, I do want to let you guys know that I preloaded the supplies I'm using in the description underneath the video today. So if you're curious at any time what exactly I might be using, and I don't see your question, it is already there. And we're just going to move right on to our next pumpkin. And I'm just going to kind of do this middle row first. There's not a huge rhyme or reason to what size pumpkin I'm doing or anything like that. I just want a nice assortment. So that's that light Clementine color first. And then we're going to just do the orange slush. And then I'm just going to lift that up and move. I have too many things on my desk. Move that over. So what is everyone's plans this weekend? Do you have anything fun going on, or are you like me and you have back to school things happening? Maybe you, I've noticed a lot of kids are back to school already. In fact, some of the other, Our district here isn't. We're kind of in a suburb, but the main city, they all went back this week. Oh, good. Jessie says she loves fall. Hi, Norma. Let's see. Hello, hello. Terry Wilson said I had to notify B list for the collection. Oh, thank you, Terry. That must be my Spellbinders collection, right? Okay, I have a big video to finish for that too, or to not really finish, the blog post to finish for that. Now, before I do any more pumpkins, just because spacing wise, if I don't add the stems, I could run into other ones. I am going to add my stems. So this is going to be some Simon Says Stamp KHAKI ink. And again, I'm going to use this small blending brush. This is where I had so much trouble with my little sample I did. Because this is small, I think I can get away with not using Post-it tape. And I love that there's two different options here. I really love that there's different options. Oh, look how cute. Okay, here is my big tip too. If you aren't a Halloween person and you want to maybe turn this in to a fall pumpkin card, maybe you just like the pumpkins, I think it would be, oh, whoops, it would be awesome to take colored pencils and add some texture to your pumpkins over the inking. I think that would be really pretty. And I got my finger in some ink. Okay, so my other tip here is because we're reusing this stencil over and over, I have a dry microfiber cloth. I can clean this better later, but I don't want to accidentally get my fingers in ink and make a mess of my background. So I'm just going to kind of clean it off periodically. Marianne is cleaning her craft room. I have got some craft or cleaning to do too. Linda's working, maybe some crafting, yes. I have quite a bit of video editing to do. I might have to do a little work this weekend. Oh, Sandy's going to be cropping at a 2-day event in Southern California with 2 friends at Paper Wizard Roadshow. That sounds amazing. Kathy says kids are back to school already in Kentucky. Yes. Oh, yes, Terry. I just saw that about Tropical Storm Fred. So I hope it's not terrible. I hope you stay safe. All right. So what I like to do is, because you can see through the stencil, I'm just going to kind of go in between now with my next layer. I'm going to go back and get my other little... I just reuse my Post-it tape too. I think I reused these same pieces over and over when I did my sample. Although I used a little bit more because I used those older blending brushes. I hope this kind of... If you haven't tried ink blending with dye inks, I would love to know. I'd like to know if you have tried or if you haven't tried. But it really kind of gives a different life to our dye inks. Let's see. Jessie wants to know how I wash my microfiber towels. I wash them by themselves. Definitely wash them by themselves because mine are always full of ink. And mine are stained, but I don't care as long as they're clean. When they get too dirty, then they just spread the ink and stuff around, and that doesn't look good. That doesn't really get anything clean. I clean mine probably about once a week, but I do a lot of stamping and inking and things. I just have like a little basket underneath my desk that I throw the dirty ones in, and then I wash them once a week. Sandy says she has not tried it. She doesn't have many dye inks, which is you could definitely do this with your oxides. If you have distress oxide inks, distress inks, whatever kind of inks that you have. I want to use my Simon Says Stamp ink blending tools for dye inks. I have a set that I have for oxides, my Gina K's. I have 2 sets already, but I wanted to use these new ones just for dye inks, and that is kind of what helped me pick this today. Plus, I really wanted to show how well they work with the dyes. But you can definitely do this with any kind of ink that you prefer. And I'm just going to keep building my background here. Jean says she has not tried ink blending at all, and she has some brushes, so she will have to try them. That would be awesome. Norma wants to know if you can blend together the Hero Art Reactive ink to the Distress Oxide, and I have to say I have not tried that, so I am not sure. And I don't want to tell you wrong. I will find out, and I will get back to you guys on that. I would think you probably could, but I don't want to tell you wrong. And then even the pumpkins that are off the sides. So this is kind of, it's called grounding, and it's what makes it look like this is going to be a piece of pattern paper rather than you've just put some pumpkins here in the center. So I always like to make sure that I am filling in every little area here. Oh, I forgot to blend in my dark color, didn't I? We can go back and do that. Let's do that for this guy. That's the great thing about stencils. You can easily, I better put this down, line them back up. Then I don't have to be quite as careful if I use that Post-it tape, because this pumpkin's pretty close to the bottom. Oh, Julie, it's your first live. I forgot to remind everyone, if this is your first live, definitely drop me a number 1 in the chat. I would love to know. I am so excited to see our new faces, and then of course all of my regulars. Oh, good. Hello. It's evening in Japan. We're so glad to see you here again. MJ, it's so nice to see you. Annabelle P wants to know if I use the same brushes for oxides and Hero Arts reactive inks. I do. I sure do. That's kind of like, I don't want to tell you wrong and say you can't use them together, because I would, but I will ask and make sure, or yeah, I'm going to ask, but I use the same blending brushes. Now I do clean my blending brushes just because I ink quite a bit and they get so dirty. So keep that in mind as well. I feel like we need just a little hint of a pumpkin here too. Not a lot. And here on the sides, I'm not going to worry quite so much about blending the 2 colors, because you're seeing so very little of these pumpkins. But it's just kind of that hint. Alrighty. So this is the tricky one, I think, because we want to make sure that we leave room for the stem. I think that will work. Let me grab my tape. We're getting there. This is the most time-consuming one, I promise, just because it's the same stencil and we have to move back and forth. But I really want, there are a lot of stencils like this, and so I wanted to show how it's very possible to do this. Just maybe takes a little bit longer. Oh, my chat just, let me see. Oh, lots of ones. Oh, hello everyone. That is so awesome. Lisa wants to know, she has a set of brushes for dye inks and oxide inks. Which set should she use for the Hero Arts reactive inks? Oxide is what I would use. You definitely, because they have a lot of the same properties as distress inks, distress oxide inks. So because they're reactive, don't use your dye ink brushes. All right, let me see if I have any other questions before I finish. Diane says she caught a live show. Friday the 13th must be her lucky day. Yes. Oh, New York City must be super hot today, huh, Jessica? It has been really hot here too. Oh, I missed it. It went by too fast. Lisa said to do the stem first, and I'll tell you why I didn't, is because I want the stem to be on top, but you definitely could, and that would give you a little bit more, it'd help you with spacing if you don't think you can get it. I'm going to go ahead and just do this little one right here. I really wanted these to be kind of soft. I really love how it's turning out. And I need to see here for my spacing. Yep, that's going to work. I really think the worst part of this is just having to move my masking material so that I can see what I'm doing. Even when you kind of see how when you place, I probably should have started off the edge so I didn't get those harsh lines. These will all pretty much fade out as that ink dries, which is great. And we're going to be stenciling some faces over the top, so I'm not going to worry too much. And then we really just have a few extra little things to add. Let's do the little bit taller stem right there, or the straighter stem. Yes, Glory, these pumpkins make me want the fall weather too, for sure. That, and I'm kind of over it being 100 degrees. My son had football conditioning all this week, and it was from like 3:30 to 5:30, and it was 100, like 102, 100 to 102 all week. It felt so bad. Those boys were all so hot. But they get to go do like a fun team activity tomorrow, so that's cool. Rochelle wants to know if you can get accidental stains off a Versamark pad. I have never been able to get one off. I don't really worry about it. Oh, so is there a question about cleaning brushes? I will tell you guys, I really, hold on just a minute. I use a little dish soap. And I use, let me put some lids on ink pads before I put my hand in it. I use dish soap in this, and I usually just put it down in my sink with a little bit of water, and I just rub these. Now, mine are generally stained. I'm going to show you a Gina K one that's not been re-inked. So here's a couple of examples. Mine don't really get all the way clean. I probably could try if I wanted to, but oh, that looks like it bumped something red. Probably needs oh, that's been used. This one has not been re-inked with pink. So sometimes I go back and try to clean them more, but I just like to try to get a lot of the ink off, but you just rub them into the soap on this, and then I rinse them out, and I kind of just squeeze the water out like that with my hand. And I set them out to dry overnight. And that usually does the trick. I'm going to put a couple of stems just down here along the bottom. I don't really think we have room for more pumpkins, but I do feel like we have a little space here that needs a little something. I can hear my dog running around. He's being crazy. My son might be out there teasing him. Okay, fall. Tracy says fall is her favorite season. Yes. Oh, you live in Arizona, so you don't really get fall. Yeah, it's my favorite as well. Okay, so if at this point, if you just want to do a fall card, this would be perfect. I would stamp something over it like I'll show you here in a minute, but I am going to go ahead and turn mine into jack-o'-lanterns. Let's go ahead and get rid of this orange ink real quick. And look at all those faces. So I really just did a complete random assortment of faces. I'm going to move these two. You can kind of see here. And I'm going to use a black dye ink. Susie, I'll tell Odin you said hi. He's squeaking toys, and he's just wild this morning. Yes, Janine, you can make your own paper. That is my favorite thing to do. I love kind of just creating my own backgrounds. So we are going to just grab a face here. And I am not going to worry about masking anything off right now because I'm using this small brush. This is like the light gray color. I can't remember what this one's called, but they all have cute names. We're going to grab a little black dye ink. And because it's nice and small, these small brushes really just have my heart right now because look how easy this makes it. If I tried, I'm going to grab a clean brush, to do this with a big brush, I would for sure pick up or ink some of these spaces if I didn't mask it off. So it's just really great for not having to mask. And look how cute! Okay, we are going to completely random. I just like to do a little assortment because I think these faces are so cute and funny. Let's see. Janet wants to know if this is a new stencil from Simon Says Stamp. It is not. It is from last year. I can't share with you any of the new stuff yet, but I will tell you I've done all of my Halloween Stamp Timber projects with new Simon Says Stamp things, so that will be released on the 1st of September. But even though this is not new, I have not used it yet. Angela wants to know how many kids I have. I have 3. I only have 1 who still lives at home. 1 still in high school. I want to make sure I don't have ink on the back of that. And then we're just going to kind of move up. Oh, my chat keeps stopping. Kelly, yes, Odin was snoring so loud during my voicing over of that video. Oh, Linda, I cannot tell. Sorry. Has to be a surprise on the 1st. I'll probably start sharing like little sneak peeks closer to Stamp Timber. Not the full project, but I know I have some, I photographed a few little like sneaky peek things, so I will be sharing those. Oh, and I totally got a harsh line there, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix that. I really should have probably not been so. Let's just take a little extra orange and blend out that a little bit. It happens. I probably should have masked it off. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to clean this again. I know it's a lot of cleaning, but I really don't want black all over my orange pumpkins. And I will clean this stencil better with like a little soap later on. I don't want to do that right now. Let's see. And I'm just trying to center the little spooky face. I think this face is funny. They're all so cute. I like that there's a lot of different options. And correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like Another company has a stencil somewhat similar. Honeybee, maybe? I don't know. I feel like I've seen one, but you guys can let me know if you know for sure. And I think these just need like a little something added to make them feel finished. We're almost ready to stamp our background and finish this card up. Let me get rid of more black ink. The black is always what worries me, that I'm going to like smear it all over my finished card. When I'm doing this not live, I generally clean my stencil a lot more. Like I'll completely clean it. All right, there are our faces. How much fun is that? I am just gonna give that a quick wipe so I don't make too big of a mess, and let's move that out of the way. Let me see. Anna says she's a longtime scrapbooker and I've inspired her to create more cards. Oh, that's awesome! You got the Zig pins. That's so exciting. I can't wait for you to receive them. Allison is very excited about Stamptember, but can't believe it's almost the end of August. Me neither. This month has gone, I mean, I've said the whole summer is just gone so fast. Angela, yeah, that's funny. Thank you. I'm going to take that as a compliment. She didn't think I was that old. I am. My oldest son and I actually went out to dinner this week, and we were laughing about that because he said somebody at his work I had stopped in said, "That's your mom." I was like, oh, thank you. I don't know that he took it as a compliment as much as I did, but that's funny. Let's see. Oh, good. I love... Oh, Kelly, you couldn't hear us snoring. That's good. I mean, it was making me laugh during the voiceover. So I always worry, but then I'm like, well, it just is what it is. Otherwise, he'll just cry, so I'm stuck between him sitting outside the door crying or, you know, snoring usually. I'm going to put this in my Misty then. Zara says, have you tried kitchen sink layering pumpkin stamps? Is it easy? Yes. I actually have a video from last year. It was their Stamptember set. I think they're easy, and it's probably one of my favorite cards. I love pumpkins. I love quilted pumpkins. I love stamped pumpkins. I love stenciled pumpkins. So I love them all. I love pumpkin decor. I like pumpkin spice. So it's a theme. Oh, hi, Simon. And so, yeah, I like all things pumpkin. I highly recommend the kitchen sink layering pumpkin stamps. They are amazing. Love, love, love them. They have a really great pumpkin stamp set. I haven't even looked in a while to see if it's in stock. I thought about doing a layering stamp video, so you guys are going to have to let me know. Yes, Kimmo says she loves that the stencil is still available. I really, really tried to do... I tried to pick products that are still in stock, so I hope that they are. Oh, Tracy says she thinks My Favorite Things just came out with a die set similar. Oh, that's cool. Let me see if there's any other questions before I stamp my background. Rochelle would like a beginner's toolbox video. Basically, what items would a beginner need to start crafting? That is a fantastic idea. Angela says her youngest will be 27 next month. Yes, it goes so fast. Oh, good. Taylor is here for her first live. Cindy is running late, wants to know what I made the background with. I made it with this Simon Says Stamp Jack-o'-lanterns stencil. So we built them with dye inks and this stencil. But you could definitely do stamps if you want to. Yeah, Susie said she bought last year's kitchen sink pumpkin layering stamps. They're so good. Okay. please do stamp layering. Okay, Angela, yes. I want to anyway. I have a ton of kitchen sink stamps, so it's going to force me to just do it because I love, love, love them. All right, this background. So I know we've talked about this a lot. I am a sucker for text backgrounds. This is the My Favorite Things Ghoulish Greetings background. A year or two old, I think. I think I can't remember if this one's in stock at Simon or not. I did link to it at My Favorite Things so in case you want to pick this one up, but I love it because it's kind of a type font. So my favorite thing to do is to take a white pigment ink and just stamp over the background. It's really light and it just adds some interest. And to me, I'm not creating the pumpkins so much as my embellishment, but this is like my pattern paper. So this is just the next layer of our pattern paper. Thank you, Simon. That was completely just accidental that they lined up so good. So look at that fun little text in the background. And it's all Halloween text. So I picked different text backgrounds for my 3 cards today based on the theme. I love it. And I just am a sucker for it. And because we started with that light gray card base, it helps the white show up in the white areas even more. So I hope you guys love that. I'm going to just pop my stamp out and out of the way. And we're going to finish this one really quick and easy. I'm not going to do all of the stamping for it. Well, for all of them, well, I might. I don't know if I have all of them ready. But I will show you where I got everything because I really wanted to concentrate on the backgrounds today. So we are going to make this Hey Pumpkin greeting, and then I already have a Wicked Good Halloween. I'm going to show you how to do this because it's one of my other favorite little hacks for a two-tone pumpkin, or two-tone pumpkin. How about two-tone greeting? Thank you, Simon. It is such a treat to have you here today. All right, here's our Hey Pumpkin. Oh, I should show you. This is the hand-lettered Halloween. I believe this is also a Simon Says Stamp release from last year, maybe 2 years. I can't remember. But what I love is coordinating dies for those big hand-lettered sentiments, which makes, it die cuts it so, so nice. So this is, let me grab my white cardstock. So this, we are going to use white. And we are going to use 2 colors of ink here. Let me grab that again. So this time, for the pumpkins, these are the 2 colors I used. We're going to use the darker of the 2 for our greeting, and I'm going to ink up the whole thing first with our orange slush. And then I grabbed a little bit darker ink. This is burnt orange. And we're just going to, and I'm gonna need to move this. I have too many things on my table again. Okay. I'm just gonna take it, and we're only gonna, I hope you can kind of see that I have it up at an angle. I'm just inking up like the bottom part of my sentiment along that bottom edge. I don't really want it to go all the way up. Maybe you can kind of see it there. And we're just gonna stamp that right there. And it gives you this really pretty like ombre effect. Then I decided, I was gonna leave it just like that, but I decided the top needed a little bit too. You could even do 3 colors if you wanted to maybe even incorporate that lightest color. You could start with that and just kind of build the color that way. But that gives you that 2-tone ombre effect sentiment, which I love. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so to save time and the magic of, I did this last night, we are going to just go ahead and take the one I've already die cut. Oh, and this isn't the right background. This is my throwaway one. Here's the one from today. And we are going to pop that up with some foam adhesive. And I'm just going to throw some little squares on here. So that was my most time-consuming background, I feel like, today. The next two are going to go a lot quicker, and I'll show you why. Let's finish this one. Do you guys end up with all these little foam square things everywhere? I found one in my shoe the other day. All right, we're going to just pop that right there, and then I am going to grab a little strip. This greeting is from another Simon Says stamp set. I literally just went through looking for specific greetings, so shop your stash, but I will show you what it's from. It's from Spook Up Some Fun, and it's Have a Wicked Good Halloween. I thought that was fun. This greeting reminds me of Jen Shirkus. She's always saying wicked. And then we're just going to pop that right underneath. Now you could definitely go in then and add like some little sparkles and things like that. I'll pop this onto a card base. So it has a few little finishing things to do, but I'm going to move on to the next background just so that we make sure, I want to make sure and get them all done today just so you can see this same technique done for different seasonal cards. Let's make sure I don't have any questions. Pammy says she always has crafting leftovers stuck on her. I love that you call them crafting leftovers. I'm going to borrow that. I think that is so funny. Crafting leftovers, for sure. I'm gonna move that away. Okay, so let's do our fall one next, and then I'll finish with Christmas. So I actually have this leftover sentiment from a Simon Says stamp set that's inspired this card. We again have a fog cardstock background. And this time we're going to do some little leaves, and we're going to do them in autumn colors coming out from around this circle. I will tell you this is a Laura Basson inspired design. She did like a rainbow one, and I thought it would be really fun to show these leaves. They're each individual stencils, so no masking, yay! And I thought it would be really, really pretty to do a fall one. This is going to be a really simple card. So what I'm going to do first, I think, just kind of gauge where I'm going to do this right in the center, and I think we're just going to start. Let me move that. Grab the inks I want to use. So I've got a red, and I've got like some greens, and we're also going to use oranges, and I'm also going to make a lot of noise and drop things. I think let's start with a little bit of the orange slush that we just used. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stencil this a few times, and then we're going to move on to like the next one, I think. Let me see. MJ Chang says she has a tabletop mini trash bin in the shape of a bear to put all of her release papers. That is so smart. I want to do that. Is it Alicia? Wants to know the white ink used for the background words. That I'm using a white pigment ink. You can use any that you like. This is the Simon Says Stamp White Pigment, but I also really love Lawn Fawn Yeti White Pigment ink. Stencils are so versatile, Janine. I love them. They are really amazing. Oh, look how pretty the leaves look. I knew they were going to look good in this. So what I'm actually going to do, I think, and I did not try this one off camera, you guys, so we're going to completely get my We're going to see if this works. And I didn't shut my door all the way, so now Odin has joined us. Hello. And I'm just going to work my way around. I don't have to worry too much about where, you know, overlap and stuff here, because this circle's pretty big for our sentiment. And it's going to cover up anything that I don't really like. But I am going to keep double checking it. I think it's going to be super pretty. I love decorating for fall too, so this is giving me all of the fall vibes, even though it's like 100 degrees. It's supposed to be a little cooler here for the next couple days. We did get a little rain last night, and I am excited for mid-80 degree weather. I use that same stencil. So this is a 4-pack. This is the Leaves Stencil 4-pack. I'm going to, I think I did a comment. Nope, I did all orange slush there. Okay, good. I'm going to move that one out of the way. I'm going to use this Catkin color next. I really like this. It's kind of a greenish color. Let's use this so it stops moving. And let's just pick another stencil, and we're going to just do the same thing again. We're going to just build this next little leaf bundle. Yes, kind of like a freehand wreath. I love that Janine called it that. Stencils are just, they're one of my favorite things. I absolutely love them. So then again, we're just going to go right to the right of that first image that we did and add our layer. And I think this color works really, really well. Okay, I missed the foam square thing. Darn it. Oh, found a foam square on your dog's nose. I love it. Oh, that is hilarious. Oh, Taylor Fast says that her daughter will be 1 next month and is noticing decorations. Oh, that's so exciting. Thank you so much, Simon. Looking pretty. All right, I think we need a little burnt orange now, and I'm gonna do that, the smallest one, since we already have a little orange in here. And then I think we'll do finish with red. Or brown. Maybe I should do brown and red. What do you guys think? Where did my brown go? I'm a little afraid of, maybe not red. Okay, here, I gotta do a test. Oh, Odin, hi. Sorry, I didn't see you there. I don't really want to mess up and start over. Oh yeah, I think we need some red in there, but do I want the burnt orange? Should I do red or orange, you guys? Because I think I want to do brown as my other one. I'm thinking red. We're just going to go for it. All right, we're going to do this little one, I think, in red. I'm going to double check. Oh yeah, I like it. All right. This is the thing about doing it on camera. You don't always know if I haven't tested it before. Oh yeah, I like red. I think it needed. You guys know me. I always like a little touch of red. And we're going to be using the same red for our Christmas card next. And this is an easy way to not have to be like cleaning these stencils just by using it for one color. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of brown. I like this khaki color. This is what we use for the stems for our pumpkins. And guys, my singing, mowing neighbor is back. I really wish you guys could hear it because it's hilarious. I don't know if it's the 80s today. Sometimes it's the 90s. It rained last night, so I thought he might be a little bit slower starting to mow today, but nope. Friday mornings during my lives is when he likes to mow. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys like that. Yeah, red. Okay. Norma says I missed a spot bottom left. I might have. It might just be a little bit imperfect. Okay, good. Everyone was saying red. That makes me happy. When we get done, if I need to fill in any areas, we can do that. And I agree. I really like the overlap. So that's kind of my plan here, and then just popping this up. This is like super, super simple. Is this where you were thinking? I think it was Norma who said she thought I missed right here. I probably missed it. I don't know if I can get back there. Susie, it is. I'm glad you can't hear him, and it is funny. It's funny because he has his AirPods in, and I don't know if I think he just doesn't care. Somebody said it's nice that he's so happy, but I'm going to give you guys a secret. It's not that. He's not very well liked in our neighborhood. He yells at everybody and everybody's dogs. So I don't know. He might just be obnoxious. Which is unfortunate. Okay, MJ, I have to get one of those little mini trash cans for my desk. That's a great idea. So this is like the most simple card, which I don't do a ton of simple. And I think, oh, guys, I forgot to put my, I'm talking about my neighbor, and I completely forgot to stamp my text over the top. Undo to the rescue. I'm just talking away, forgetting what I'm doing. All right. Yay. Undo, I try not to use that much, but it is great. Amazon. And it will dry pretty quick. All right. Let's get my white pigment ink and let's get my thank you stencil. So this is my fall card, so I obviously picked a thank you type of background. Oh, you guys, I can't believe I did that. It's live. And now I'm dropping things. All right. Let me just stick that over here to the side for a second. I have a thank you text. There's tons and tons of thank you text. Norma, I'm sure he's not watching my live. And it's not really, I think he knows, and I don't think he cares. The rest of the neighbors all have said things. I just stay out of it. We're going to pop that in there. So this is the Simon Says stamp thank you text, probably one of my most often used because it works for so many things, but I thought it would be pretty for a thank you or for a fall themed card. And then I know already that I'm going to love this white pigment ink over these stenciled leaves. It'll be nice and light and pretty. Yay! And it's just nice and subtle. And let me grab my sentiment now because it's still sticky. And then I probably would add like something, little sequins, sparkles. I'll do that later. So here are our first two backgrounds. I just love a little text over stenciling. And you can really see over here, it's lightened up a little bit. It will lighten up here too. If you don't want it to be quite as dark, my tip is to stamp it off once on a scrap piece of paper and then use second generation stamping for your background. It'll be a lot more muted, but it will fade just a little bit. All right, we're gonna move this one out of the way and move on to Christmas because I really wanted to get my Christmas one finished. And any of the embellishing I will do after I get back from my son's appointment, after the live, and I will then go ahead and finish that up. Oh, I don't know what that's doing in here. Hold on real quick. All right, so now we are going to use, let's move our leaves real quick. Yes, Cindy, it makes such a huge difference, and it is such a small thing. Any text background. Honestly, while I did pick them to go with the theme of the card, you don't have to. It's really not that legible. In fact, one of my very favorite backgrounds from Simon Says Stamp it's called Good Reading. It's a grungy text, and it can be used for anything. It just gives that subtle grunge to the background. Okay, again, all of my cards today have fog cardstock. This is going to be even faster because there's a separate stencil for each step. Yay! I did a similar video with this, I think last year maybe. So there is another one out there. I'll link to that one, but I love, love, love this. So I thought we would do it again because I don't know that I stenciled originally on a gray cardstock. I can't really remember. If you want to this time, you can use your bigger blending tool. I'm probably not. I'm probably just going to stick with the small one since I've been using it. But we're going to start with the flowers, then we're going to build each leaves set over this, and then we'll finish with these centers. And then we'll stamp a Christmas sentiment background over this one. So I'm just going to start here. This is Schoolhouse Red from Simon Says Stamp. You can use any color, any kind of color you want. I wanted something very deep red. Yeah, Linda says layering stencils are the best thing ever. I so agree. They really are wonderful. Because when we're done with this, we can simply pop it up and set it aside. And then we can move our red out of the way. I'm going to move this way out of the way. I have a tendency to get red everywhere. So there's two leaves stencils. I generally like to do this big one next, and then I'll do the next one. So the thing is you kind of have to figure out the placement. So I just spin it around and then you can feel it because you can see all those open spaces. I kind of hope doing that on camera because sometimes it just takes a minute. Yes, I missed Simon's question. It's Undo Adhesive Remover, and I can add that in after the video too. I'll write it down, or you guys know I'll forget. Okay, I need to pick my green color. I think, yeah, we're going to do green apple for this layer, and then I'm going to finish with evergreen. So this is pretty traditional Christmassy colors, I feel like. And while I'm only using one color, I will tell you when I used this stencil before, I actually used a couple colors per layer. So I was basically doing some ink layering within each stencil. And that's really pretty too. And this is another one that if you wanted to take colored pencils afterwards and kind of you know, draw in some veining in the leaves or whatever. I think that would be really pretty to add extra texture. And I just want to make sure I get all of these areas stenciled. And then we're going to pop up our second layer, and look at that. Our background is starting to take shape. Cindy, yes, I've put my hand in that red ink pad so much. Oh, good. Janine says I'm motivating her to bring out her stencils. I love that. That is so fun. All right, next up. And this one's, it gets a little easier as we go. You can see this was a lot easier to see where those open areas are. I just want to make sure there's no overlap. It looks like we'll just be doing about 4 here. I'm going to do evergreen. And this is going to be a little bit deeper and darker. And then the best thing about stencils, so I feel like this green, I like it, but it might just be a little bit too like lightish. So you can go back to your stencil. So this is going to be kind of that ink layering I was talking about. I'm going to take that evergreen and we're just going to blend maybe a little bit into some of these areas. I feel like the leaves need a little bit more shading, don't you? And we're not going to cover the whole thing, just kind of down near the base of the leaves. That one's going to have a little more color. And you don't even have to really re-ink your brush too much, just a little bit. And I like that. I think that gives it a little bit more definition. Elizabeth said she learned about Undo Remover from me and it saved her. That's so good. I have had it since my scrapbooking days. I think I actually remember, I think I learned about it from Creating Keepsakes magazine. Believe it or not, way back in the day. Sunshine ink is what we're going to use for the center and to add all these little dots around our background. And this is our last layer. And it's what's great is if you miss, so see I've missed right here, but like you lift it up and you're like, huh, that spot looks like it's missing it. Stencils are so awesome. You can just line it back up, add that ink, and you're good to go. I love this set. This is probably one of my favorite layering sets because you instantly have a gorgeous Christmas background. When I did my other video, I made multiples of this. It's a really great one if you're looking for a card design to make a lot. Lots of questions about undo staining. It doesn't. It really shouldn't. DK Sherby wants to know if Lawn Fawn is having a reveal soon, mid-September. Oh, good! Lizette just bought the Ghoulish Greetings background. That's so awesome. It's one of my favorites. If you love Halloween crafting, it is a great one. That's awesome. For the leaves background, did you start light colors and then move to dark? Not really. I probably maybe should have, but I didn't. I'm using dye inks. They do dry quicker. Angela says she misses that magazine. Yes, I used to. Gosh, do you remember waiting for that to come? Okay, so just like Ghoulish Greetings, My Favorite Things has the Christmas background, and it is also one of my very, very favorites, so that's what we're going to use. We're going to go ahead and get that stamped, and I'm going to get my sentiment here. I want to make sure I get the card fronts finished for you guys before I have to take my son to his appointment. Odin, can you please not chew on your toy right here? He picked a crinkly, noisy toy, of course. So again, white pigment ink, our Christmas text background, And I love how this looks on the leaves and on the poinsettias. Isn't that so pretty? This card that I mean, I've already kind of made this before, is what inspired this whole video. I really thought it would be fun to show you guys in real time. I just love it. So now I'm going to move that away and we're going to grab some sentiments. So I do have a little Happy Holidays here that I cut into a sentiment strip. I don't really like this, so we're not using that one. We're going to restamp it. But I'm going to use, all my sentiments are from Good Cheer. This is a set from Simon Says Stamp. Oh, what's the stencil called? Wendy wants to know. It is called, and of course I said it somewhere else. It is the, here we go, Winter Floral Layering Set. And if you guys have any questions, I have linked all of the products already down below the video. So anything you're seeing here, I have linked. How's my paper staying on my Misty? I actually have adhesive right here. I really need to get one of those sticky pads, but you guys, we've talked about this in a past live and I haven't done it yet. Belinda wants to know what kind of dog he is. He is a Shih Tzu. We call him Shih Tzu Baby because he is a baby. All right, let me grab my white cardstock scrap again. You guys, just like always, I have this so organized when we start, and then somehow by the end, it becomes this huge mess. I got another white square, but we do need to put our foam back in. So what I love to do with greetings that have like a couple of different fonts, I really like to stamp it in 2 different colors. So like the wishing you peace, love, and I want to do, I feel like I did it in green and I really didn't like it. I think I'm going to do it in black and then do the joy in red. But we're going to take Post-it tape again and mask off parts of this. And let's move some of these things I don't need out of the way. So I'm just going to take my Post-it tape first, and we're going to mask off the part with the smaller text. And I think one of the things I didn't like about my sentiment is that the whole thing was dark red, so we're going to do kind of an ombre effect on the word joy here. So even though I didn't use the Hot Lips ink for my flowers, I could have done a 2-tone. I'm going to ink that up with that first. We're just going to pull the Post-it tape, go ahead and ink that, and it is totally fine that it's not perfect. Let me grab my Schoolhouse red ink again that I moved far out of the way. And we're just going to kind of ink up part of the bottom of it. We'll start with that. And just always remember to remove your tape. And then I think I will ink it with Hot Lips one more time. Hopefully that'll give it a little bit better blend, but it gives it a little bit of an ombre effect. And I like that a little bit better. Okay, then I'm just going to reuse this piece to mask off the bottom, and then I've got this leftover from our pumpkins that I'm going to just use right here. And I have so many ink pads out today, what a mess. And we're going to ink up the rest of our sentiment with black. I'm going to pull those. And it generally doesn't stamp great the first time. I don't know why. I probably could have pulled out a different ink pad, but we'll just re-stamp it. That's why we use the Misty. Okay, I might have to. Let me grab a different black ink. When I'm stamping sentiments, I usually use this. All right. This should probably make it look good. Well, much better, but I am still, why am I missing part of that? Maybe I didn't ink it up. I'm missing my comma and I don't like it. Oh, there we go. So there is our sentiment, and we're just going to grab the coordinating die. So the great thing about this stamp set is that it has lots of coordinating dies for the sentiments, which is so fun. We're just going to line that up. Linda says her dog's trying to figure out where the speaking is coming from. Yeah, I think mine doesn't know who I'm talking to, and that's what drives him crazy. Which it shouldn't be any different than a regular voiceover of a video, which he likes to supervise and sleep through. And there's our little sentiment. I'm gonna just, I see I did not clean very good. So we have this, which definitely needs popped up, and then I do have a little sentiment to put down below. So I'll grab my foam adhesive again, which maybe put away, I don't know. Let me see if there's questions while I'm doing this. Linda, yeah, he is wondering who has his toy. Commas save lies. Yes, they do. Oh, thank you, Tina. Odin Max says good morning. I think he ran off. I think he hears my son eating something in the kitchen, and he probably wants to get in on that action. Or try. He's not going to get anything, but he'll try. So we'll just put a little foam adhesive back here. I tend to like my foam adhesive. If you guys have been here, you know. Let's see. And then we just want to pop that up in place. We'll grab a little scrap of a strip here. Actually, before I do that, I was kind of almost thinking, no, I think we'll put it down below. I always never know where I want to put it in case it overlaps. I don't want to put the whole thing. But I do think that we'll probably just do that. Actually, it needs to be centered a little bit better. I lost my adhesive. Let's grab a ruler. There we go. Perfect. And then again, I'm sure I would add, you know, something. You know me and my little embellishments. I like the little embellishments. So I'm going to show you. Tina Pierce Tinney wants to know what adhesive squares I use. I use scrapbook adhesives in like the large and the small. And then I use, is it Doris? The foam adhesive strips. And these are what I use all the time. They're my very, very favorite. So here are all three backgrounds, all finished with my favorite stenciling and text overlay design. Angie says it's great to see someone else use a lot of foam adhesive like her. That's hilarious. Okay, I'm going to switch my camera. Hi. Okay, does anyone have any, oh, Cindy, I probably missed your question. Tape on Misty and ink dry time. I did not. So the tape on my Misty is just my tape runner. You can also use, someone can probably drop the exact name in the comments, but it's a sticky mat. I think it's for your Big Shot. In there, I just have not got mine yet, and it will hold your paper in place. And ink dry time, if you're talking about the ink for these cards, dye ink is going to dry really, really quick. That's one of the other reasons I chose to use it, so the mess is really kind of contained. It dries very quickly. Oh, Terry, awesome! You just ordered the pumpkin stencil. That's so exciting. Oh, Anna, it will be beautiful. I am sure of it. Wink of Stella would be beautiful. I haven't used my Wink of Stella in forever, Tina. I need to do that. Let's see. I'm going to see if I have it. Can you mask a die in a spot so it doesn't cut through? Like, what do you mean? For like this, if you didn't want to do all of it, you definitely could. You can just ink whatever part of the stencil that you want if you don't want to do an all over background. Cindy, the white ink I'm using is Simon Says Stamp white pigment ink. And all of these supplies, I mean, some of the adhesives I might not have added yet, but inks, stencils, stamps, I have listed all of those in the supply list down below. So if you want to be able to find them easily. Sticky mat for cutting machines. Thank you, Lisa. I knew one of you would have it for me. Thank you. Oh, Linda, awesome. You'll have to let us know what you get when you go shopping. Oh, Angela says the sticky mat tears her paper. Be sure to dust it a bit with powder. That is a fantastic tip. Thank you so much. Tina says she can't make a card without it. Awesome. Let me see. I'm going to scroll back just a little, guys, because I'm missing, I know I probably missed some questions. Let's see. I think I got that one. Natalie Ray says the white text over the colorful background really makes this special, and her shopping cart at Simon is expanding. That's funny. Mine is always expanding. Oh, thank you guys so much. Let me see. I'm going to see if any new questions. If I missed your question, it may take forever if I try to scroll back, drop me a note and let me know. I'll be here for a couple more minutes. Oh, like mask a metal die so it doesn't cut through the paper in a certain spot. Yes, what you do is you take, I'm going to grab my cutting mats. So if you don't want your die to cut all the way through, you need to put, here, I'm going to flip the camera, hold on. You would place your die. So let's say you don't want it, I got stuff everywhere. You don't want it to cut the bottom. Anything you don't want to cut, you would hang off the end of your cutting plates. I have done this with a smaller cutting plates and a die cutting machine. It works a little easier, like a sidekick or something. But then you just won't die cut this part. I usually will like draw a little line on my paper, but what you don't want to cut, have hanging outside of this. I haven't done one of those videos in a while. Maybe I should do one again. Thank you for re-asking. If you roll the sticky mat, the paper won't rip. Oh, Lisa, that is a fantastic tip. Thank you. Oh, Jennifer Williams slept in this morning. I am jealous. Yes, and for everyone watching this, the replay, thank you guys. I appreciate you. And yes, it's only 7 a.m. in Alaska, so it is early for you. Oh, good. You just ordered Undo and the Post-it tape and you're so excited. That's awesome. Red heart for the leaf sentiment. Yes, probably. You're absolutely correct. You know me so well, Susan. That's funny. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. How about the middle of the die? I don't think there's a way to do that. If there is, I don't know it, but I'll kind of ask and see. Thank you guys so much. You can put the whole die cut on the bottom plate and put the top plate on as far as you want? Yes, that's a good idea. Thank you. Little red hearts for hollyberries would be cute. Okay, I think if I have missed your question, drop it here really quick and let me know before I sign out, because I am going to have to take Ethan for his appointment. But luckily we got all 3 cards done today. I'm excited. I will be editing like the thumbnail, and I'll have photos of these that will be going up. Actually, not tomorrow. The blog post won't be going up. The live replay will be up, and I will edit that here when I get home from taking Ethan. So that will be up this afternoon, but the blog post with photos and stuff will be up Sunday morning. Red hearts, yes, that's a great idea. When you say sticky mat, are you talking about the sticky grid from Tim Holtz? I don't know. Is it Tim branded? I am not really sure, you guys. I haven't got one yet, so you'll have to let me know. Oh, good. Back to watching my pop-up video from this morning. Yes, has everyone watched or taken part of the Lawn Fawn Favorites Week? It's really fun to see what everybody's favorites are. Okay, thank you guys. I don't think I have any more questions. Cindy says thank you. Don't be late. That's funny. Yes, we will. We won't be late. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of you, and we'll see you next week in another live. Bye. The supplies used in today's video are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here is another project that you might be interested in. Please remember to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to never miss a new live video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll catch you next time.